What's up, fellas? I don't know. This is a new setup, so I don't know how the mic's gonna sound and everything. So I'm just kind of testing it out. Wanted to reconnect with everybody. So big surprise, the medical system was not done with me yet. I had appendicitis in the middle of all my TMS stuff. Um, it started as like global pain in my stomach, and I thought I had food poisoning. But then I was like, wait a second, I don't have a fever. I'm not throwing up. I don't have a sore throat, so I'm not sick. I don't have a runny nose or anything. And then it started migrating to the bottom right of my stomach. And I was like, oh shit, this is appendicitis. And so then I immediately took an Uber to the hospital. And after about 2 hours, they got me into a CT scan, and they confirmed it was appendicitis. My appendix was inflamed. And for the next 40 hours, I laid in a hospital bed in the hallway because they couldn't give me a room. Um, and I wasn't allowed to eat. The nurses were super unresponsive, so not good at pain management. And my surgery kept getting pushed out over and over and over again. And so I was just stuck in this fucking hallway, like sweating down to my asshole because I was in so much pain. And there's a video, I should have just pulled it up, but there's a video of me like ringing the bell, trying to get the nurses, there's a literal bell, trying to get the nurses to come because I was hurting so fucking bad. At one point, I went full monkey mode, and they finally heard it because they're way down the hall. And they came and gave me meds. I was like, I literally was grunting at them, like, give me meds. Like, I was in so much fucking pain. And I had to have some people really pull some strings behind the scenes in order to me to get under the blade. They were literally waiting for my appendix to rupture. That was the plan. They did not. They had all these other surgeries, emergency surgeries. I told the doctor directly, my surgeon directly. I was like, I'm concerned that I'm going to. Hi, KT, dude. Good to see you. Thanks for popping by, bro. It's cool to see you in the health channel. I told 2 doctors and 3 nurses, I was like, I think my appendix is gonna burst. It's been like 30 hours, 36 hours. Like, it's only a matter of time for my appendix burst, and I'm on an immunosuppressant. Like, we should get this going. And he's like, oh, sorry, there's not really much we can do. Whatever, we'll work on pain management, whatever. I didn't hear back from anybody for an hour as far as pain management goes, and then I fucking lost my mind. I was about to pull my IV out and like rage over there. I hobbled over there and yelled at the fucking nurses, but they had no authority. I didn't yell at them. I literally told them, I said, so your plan is you're either going to starve me to death or you're going to wait until my appendix ruptures. That's your plan? And they were kind of all like, well, all these like 22-year-old fucking dumb nurses. Not all nurses are dumb. I've had a very pleasant experience with the nurses, but these were. I was thrown on a floor with a bunch of incompetent people. But thankfully, like you can see, I'll show you. You can see, like, it was a laparoscopic surgery. So they put in I forget what it's called, but they put something in through my belly button, and they introduced a bunch of CO2, so it expands my belly, which gives them room to operate. And then over here, they do another small incision, and down there's another small incision, and they use, whatever tools to get in there and get the appendix out. But I had to, there were a lot of people I had to talk to. I had to get, my father is a medical doctor. Oh, I can't go into too much detail, but let's just say, in order for me to, sorry, audio feedback, why does that happen? Let me test it really quick, hold on. Appendix person, I'm on an immunosuppressant. Like, your plan is you're either going to start really quick, hold on. Okay, is it fixed? Oh. Well, okay, I think it's fixed. Okay. Alright, let me know. I can't believe you guys listened to that with that audio reverbing. And I know this audio sucks, but I just have this in microphone I have. Yeah, I was pretty pissed off, but at the same time, I was super grateful for, like, KT, like, some of the people that pulled strings and were able to get me into the emergency room, or into the operating room, and actually have the surgery done. When I was getting rolled in, some guy made fun of me. that I wasn't an emergency surgery. And I'm like, dude, like, what are you gonna do? Wait until my appendix bursts? Like, that's your fucking plan? You wait till my appendix bursts. I'm on an immunosuppressant. And they were telling me like my white blood cell count wasn't high, and it was high. And I was like, I'm on CellCept. It's supposed to be below the reference range, so actually it is high. You fucking idiot. And he just kind of like, oh, it's true, but it's like, it didn't even matter because the CT scan showed that my appendix was inflamed. But there was just a doctor there who was very annoyed with their own medical system that none of us knew, none of my family knew, nobody knew, but was willing to work with us in getting. I had my desktop audio on. That's what I was reverbing. I forgot because I'm used to using a Mac where it actually doesn't let you do that. Hi, Echoes from Above, dude. Long time. I haven't heard from you in a long time. Good to see you. But there's the doc there who was just so pissed off at the system that he pushed me up to an emergency surgery, and I got mocked on the way into the OR room because I wasn't in emergency surgery. Anyway, it was complete bullshit. TMS is going. I'm recovering fine, and it would have been way longer and could have been much worse if I didn't have like a bajillion people on my side. My brother flew out 8 hours from Idaho or Seattle, just to make sure everything went through smoothly in case I ran into any hiccups. He could be an advocate for me, and then like next couple days we hung out, and he just kind of took care of me, and I don't know. It was mostly just someone to have while I was recovering a little bit. But I immediately hopped back on the TMS train, so I'm getting TMS done. So far, like as a summary of TMS, it's brought my anxiety down from like a 9 to like a 4 or a 3.5. So anxiety-wise, super good. Depression, it's brought it down from like an 8 to a 7, but that's just happened today. And studies show, I've done a lot of research because it's obviously very much concerned how I feel. So I am very interested in it. I've done a lot of research in large cohorts of people who have TMS done, fMRI guided or not. They see improvements. Actually, a majority see improvement in the last, final sessions, and then a large section also see improvement in the weeks following TMS. So I'm not giving up on depression yet. As far as my vision goes, which is why I initially came here for, I think that's fucked. I don't think there's anything I can do about that. It's just fucked. Sometimes things happen, like you can't undo it. Like you get paralyzed from the waist down. Like what are they gonna zap you with something? All of a sudden you can walk again. Like sometimes shit just gets fucked, and it's just fucked. But if with anxiety down and depression down, it's going to be able to open up my life where I can engage in the world again. And as I get more distant from the trauma of encephalitis, where I had these visual perceptual problems during that whole period, it's going to make them less jarring, and with less depression and less anxiety, it's going to make the whole thing a lot easier to cope with. So I haven't given up on depression yet, especially because today I just felt the meter just start moving on depression. Anxiety is huge relief. But I really don't think vision's gonna change, and it may not change in ever. It may take future advancement in medical techniques and whatever to fix it. But yeah, I know. Where's my celebrity treatment for real, KT? What the fuck? Do I need to carry my like YouTube button around? They never gave me a YouTube button, by the way. That really pissed me off. But I should walk in there and say, oh. They recognize. It's so funny. Some nurse was like, "You look like some YouTuber I'm following." I was like, "In the money?" And he's like, "No, some other guy who does hormones." I was like, I mentioned my brother's channel. He talks about hormones a lot. He's like, "Yeah, him." I was like, "What the fuck?" This guy knew my twin brother who has like 2,000 subs but didn't know me, which is great. Like I wasn't disappointed at all. I was actually ecstatic. I was like, this guy recognizes my twin brother like for his tiny YouTube channel. I was like, what are the odds? Like out of 2,000 people in this whole country, this one awesome nurse I was with at the beginning knew my twin brother. He was jacked to the tits about it. He seemed like a really rad dude. His name is Darius, which is just a fucking awesome name. It sounds like some Roman emperor or something. Maybe it's more Greek or something, but no, it sounds kind of Roman. But he's a super cool dude. Anyway, I thought I'd just check in with you guys, and it's good to see you, KT. And Echoes from Above, it's good to see you too. You're always doing God's work. And Lefteris Torstanus, of course. It's always good to see you too. You never miss a stream, I don't think. I always see your name pop up. Um, that's about it though. I have about so today was treatment number 21. I have 9 more to go, and I really, really, really think that over the next 9 sessions and the couple weeks that follow, I think I'm going to be seeing some really significant improvement in anxiety and depression to the point where life is going to feel a lot more freeing. Again, I think my vision is foobar. I don't think there's little hope of that fixing. I'm super addicted to nicotine. I'm like, I lose my vape, I lose my mind. As soon as I got out of encephalitis, I have an addictive personality, so I have to be careful what I touch, and I can't touch really anything anymore because my nervous system is too touchy. But nicotine is the one thing I can consume, and so I'm just like, that's it's bad. It's bad. I'm gonna have a heart attack while I'm shoveling snow and I'm 30 or something. Thanks, Echoes from above. I wish you the best as well, and I appreciate you popping in just to hear the update. Yeah, my tummy hurts a little bit. And like I was like laying in one position for 40 hours. Like the only thing I had as nutrients was two things. One I had was just like IV fluid, so I wasn't eating for 40 hours because they were like, "Well, you're gonna have surgery." And I'm like, "Okay, well, when?" But they're like, "You can have surgery at any moment, so you can't eat." And then the whole time I'm in so much pain, so I'm just locked in a rigid state, like sweating fucking bullets, and my whole body fucking hurts. And so I came home and they gave me some Oxycontin, and they're like, use 0.5 milligrams every 4 hours to manage pain if you have to, if Tylenol and Advil don't work. And I was just like, I just popped one, and as soon as it started wearing, I popped the other. I went through like all my Oxycontin in one night. I was like, I did not give a shit. I was like, fuck you guys. I'm gonna have like one night of relief and hang out with my brother and have some nice conversations and stuff. I'm not gonna do this stupid shit where you want me to like space out zero point 0.5 milligrams of Oxycontin. I'm like, you're literally giving me like prescribed heroin, and you're expecting me not to just take it all at once. Anyway, that goes back to my addicted personality. T says, so sorry to hear about all this shit, man. I'm glad to hear the appendix shit is over and you're feeling good about TMS for anxiety and depression. I'm curious what makes you say TMS won't help your vision. It's just less studied. That's mostly it. Well, two things. One, I haven't seen improvement so far, and then two, it's really less studied. So, like, if I can go in and research, like, what's the response rate for people who do accelerated TMS protocols targeting the left dorsolateral prefrontal cortex that have responded well to anxiety, and how do they respond in the weeks following. I can do that kind of research because there's a ton of research on TMS and fMRI guided TMS and all that for depression. For visual symptoms, I have very little to go off of. The doctors, they were very hopeful at the beginning, and maybe I can be proven wrong. Maybe over the next few weeks, things could really shift, just like in depression seems to have been shifting today. It's possible. I just haven't seen it, and there's just a lot less research to go off of. And when there's a lot less research to go off of, it's hard to speculate probabilities. So, I guess what I'm saying is maybe it's not so much like my vision's fucked. It's more like I'm okay if it doesn't change. I will make a way to work around it. It's more like that. It's a healthier mindset than saying, "Oh, I'm fucked." It's more like I'm okay if it doesn't change. I'm okay because if anxiety and depression are down, like I can start functioning again, and things will really start taking off and gaining more momentum and that kind of thing. So there's nothing to say that vision won't change. There's just not enough evidence of like when it should change. Will it change? Does the prolonged neuroplastic effects of TMS, in the following weeks will it change the data? Like, I just don't know. And so it could pop up and all of a sudden be a very pleasant surprise. And I'll take it if I get it, but if I don't get it, it's going to be okay. That's all I'm saying. So maybe my wording was a little bit harsh there as being like, oh, this is fucked. But it's more of me like coming to terms with the fact that, hey, this may not improve right now. It may, maybe way down the road, some other therapy will come out and I'll be able to get help there. But if it doesn't improve right now, that's okay. I can work around it and then I can start engaging in life again. And it's not a bad time for anxiety and depression to come down because spring is just starting, so things are just starting to warm up. Yeah, but fuck, my stomach hurts. But I didn't want to even take the spread out the cotton because I didn't want it to affect my mood and not know when depression was shifting, so I just took it all. And which is good because now today I know that depression shifted a little bit, at least for a moment or two and for an hour or two, and I wouldn't have known if I was on pain meds. So I'd rather just be on Tylenol or whatever. And I had a great night. Me and my brother had some awesome conversations. We were just hanging out outside. He's smoking a cigarette, and I don't smoke. I just like vapor, use like Zen. But we were just hanging outside having like philosophical, theological discussions, and it was just a lot of fun. And I was like, it's okay if I want to take some pain meds and just have, after 40 hours of hell and just relax for a second and enjoy my company with my brother. But it was super nice of him. Sometimes family just, like, what would you do without them? They can be really key players. I mean, certain people in my family were major key players in keeping my appendix from rupturing. So, yeah, the conversations were great. It was so much fun. I had a great time talking to him. And then I told him, I was like, dude, I know we're having like a great time and everything, but these next couple days I'm gonna be crashed out. And I totally was. I was exhausted for the next couple days because I hadn't slept. Like, I got like 5 hours sleep over 40 hours, and I hadn't eaten or anything like that. So I'm still catching up a little bit, but I felt good enough to stream, which is good. And I thought about walking to Central Park, but I'm on Miralax because of the OxyContin, and so I'm a bit of a time bomb in that regard. At any second, things can go off, so I can't really, I can't wander. It kind of hurts to laugh, but I can't wander too far from my apartment. Otherwise, we might have some sort of code brown at Central Park, which is not exactly a good way to enjoy Central Park. Yeah, the appendix recovery is going well. It's going well. I'll say that. It's fine. Like, the whole experience fucking blew. But as soon as I got the surgery, like, the surgery went great. They gave me pain meds, everything. They discharged me. The nurses were fantastic. All of a sudden, I had a room with a TV and a call button. My brother was there. Like, everything just turned up roses afterwards. It was just those 40 hours of, like me just, like, ringing the bell, like, can I get some fucking pain meds? And then the nurse comes over and she tells me, well, you're within 20 minutes of your window where you're not allowed to have pain meds. And I'm like, I'm at a 10 out of 10 here. Not like, give me some fucking pain meds. But I was like, okay, fine. She said she'd go talk to the doctor about it. I didn't hear from her for an hour. I rang the bell a few times, and then eventually I just took the bell and I was just like as hard as I fucking could, because I was like, I just don't give a shit anymore. I'm like, usually I'm a very like socially safe, don't want to make people uncomfortable kind of guy, but I was in so much pain and so sleep deprived, I was just like, fuck it. So I just fucking rang the thing as hard as I could, and as soon as they showed up, I was like, give me some fucking pain meds. Like, this, I'm dying here, and like, you guys are waiting for my appendix to burst. This is fucking ridiculous. So I gave him a fat 1-star review. So we're even. How's that? And just some people really came in clutch to make it better. But the recovery is going great. Just a little tender is all, but no big deal. Other than that, it's going fantastic. It could have been way worse if it ruptured. I'm on Cellcept, which pushes my white blood cell count down. My immune system's suppressed, and if it ruptures, then I would have ended up in the hospital, for at least a week, maybe 2, maybe longer, because I'm on Cellcept. That would have derailed everything I came out here to New York to do, which was to do TMS, to get rid of depression, get rid of anxiety, help my vision, whatever, get my life moving. It would have derailed everything because it compounds over sessions, right? So if I interrupt everything with, oh, I gotta be in the hospital for 2 weeks, it just resets everything. I wasted a ton of money and time, and so I kept putting pressure on the nurses and the doctors and stuff, but nobody would listen. But there's this one doctor who was just so pissed off at how the system worked, he just bumped me up the notch and went, this guy's an emergency. And they all laughed at that, but not all of them, but some people made some innuendos about some sarcastic innuendos about how I didn't really seem like an emergency, but it got me in the OR room. So yeah, it's like the hospital is overloaded because it's a busy hospital, but it's also the way the management works. It's not even really the doctor's fault so much as the policy and management. Sorry, my fingernails are long. I haven't clipped them since I've been in the hospital, so I know that people like to comment on that whenever I do that. They're kind of long. But the policy is like, I get put on like what's a pink slip, which is basically like get to it when you can, and then there's all the other surgeries. So there's just scheduled surgeries and then the emergency surgeries. So even if I get moved up the pink slip as I move up the slip to get surgery, if more emergency surgeries start swamping them, I just get pushed back again. So that'll just keep rinse and repeating until my appendix bursts, and then I'd have to then I'd be in an emergency surgery. And we did consider transferring to another hospital, but there was the risk of ending up further behind than we actually were, and we got in contact with that a certain person who was a little disgruntled with their system and had the power to get me in the OR. And so we were holding off to wait to see if he actually was going to follow through on that before we had any talk about transferring me to a different hospital. We were a little bit concerned, after about 30 hours of transferring to a different hospital and maybe ending up further back than when we started. There's no real guarantee that another hospital would be any better. But we did discuss that. It was an option on the table. But ultimately, one guy really made the move to make it happen. I was going to burst, bro. I'm telling you. I was telling them, I was like, this is like a 12 out of 10 pains. Like, I have a really high pain threshold. Like, I've had 8 lumbar punctures. I've had a tube shoved in my jugular. Like, I've had things done where doctors are like shocked that I didn't move. I have a high pain threshold, or at least I'm willing to sit through pain. Um, I'm not saying like I feel the pain any less, but I'm not the person who goes like, oh fuck, oh, it hurts, like I just sit through it. But I was hitting a 12 out of 10, it was like bad level pain. Anyway, I'm not gonna bitch about it too much. Dude, I'm sorry, your appendix burst. That must have fucking sucked. I can't imagine what that feels like, dude. I was so scared because I know like the first sign of an appendix bursting is like you feel better at first and then it becomes incredibly painful. I don't know if that was true for you, but I was just so scared that that was going to happen, and I just didn't want it to derail everything I came to New York to do. That would have really set me back and made me disappointed. I wouldn't know what to do after that point. All my progress would have been lost. Not to mention the rest of my health and all that, but like just the progress I've made would have been lost and would have just been fucking shitty. Yeah, like it was. I have a photo of myself. I was pitted out like down to here, and my hospital bed in the hallway was like drenched in sweat. So it was high level pain. Like a lumbar puncture like makes you sweaty and tense up or whatever, but this is like sustained hour after hour after hour, like high level pain. Even on high levels of narcotics, it was still extremely painful, which was highly concerning. Because on high levels of narcotics, you should not be feeling that much pain, And so when the narcotics wore off, I was like, I'm gonna fuck. I told them I said, if I don't get pain meds right now, I'm gonna go fucking jump off a cliff because this is, it was that bad. And people have appendicitis and stuff, so it's kind of weird to me. Like, is this story that dramatic? Because people like have appendicitis all the time, but like it was just the way they handled it, and it was just the policies and stuff that they had in place that just made it a mess. Um, because it's hard to blame the nurses. The nurses were young and they're doing their best or whatever. Well, actually, I take that back. Fuck them, because I rang that bell so many times. I yelled their names and stuff, and like no one showed up. They said they would check in on me. They didn't. They could have come back an hour later. I'd be fucking dead, or my appendix would have burst, and they would have never showed up. Like I rang the bell. What does that mean? They don't know. I could be ringing the bell because my appendix burst, but they're not showing up. So it's like who leaves a patient who's at least at a 10 out of 10 level pain for over an hour without coming in and checking in on them and doing vitals and stuff. Ridiculous. Anyway, so that's kind of the summary of my appendicitis stuff. And my tummy's all bruised and a little tender, and I'm kind of sore from like sitting in the same spot. But I'm back doing TMS. I need to eat, and I have no outro, unfortunately, because I have a little bit of a new setup here. They allowed visitors. I had a friend of a friend visit me, and she put some pressure on the nurses and made the nurses sweat, but the nurses had no power, so they couldn't do anything. And then my brother came in, was there, and it was the first person I saw when I first woke up out of surgery, so God bless him. But I didn't see anybody else besides that. Yeah, June, thanks for popping in. And it's having just waking up and seeing my a familiar face was just, I don't know. I felt touched. I don't feel touched very often. Sometimes sometimes I let myself be a little bit too cynical, but just the coordination between family members and doctors in the system and stuff to make this happen so that I wasn't suffering more or I didn't burst or anything like that. It was just like I just felt so grateful, and I still feel so grateful for everybody that played a key role in getting me through that. And then also just my brother showing up, like taking an 8-hour flight just to come see me, even after surgery, just to be with me for a couple days. It's just like, man, that's a real bro move. So anyway, I'll leave this video up on the channel, and for people who watch down the road, the chat replay won't be available until 24 hours, and if you're on mobile, you'll have to swipe left to see the chat replay. Um, but I think that summarizes everything that I need to summarize up to now as far as the the appendicitis goes. Like, I mean, I can kind of show you here. Let me see. I pulled it up earlier. Is it gonna switch to my scene here? Okay, so that's me. I just want to make sure it's showing. Okay. So yeah, they put a tube in here. I think this thing, and they blow it full of air. Then they put, how does it work? The surgeon makes the incision near your belly button, which it was literally in my belly button. Inserts a small device called a port, which I think is that one. I think. The port creates an opening that your surgeon can use to fill the abdomen with gas, which is this is a camera, but they fill it with gas. This next, a small camera is inserted through the port. So yeah, this is a port. They put the camera into the port, and there's the camera, right? And it shows the surgery on screen. Once the surgeon can see clearly, they put in more ports to insert long, narrow instruments, which are these two ports right here, which then do the procedure. They do the procedure to remove the appendix. But anyway, I don't know why my desktop screen looked like it was so dark. Yeah, my brother's a real G. All right, guys, I'm gonna call it there. I have no outro or anything. Again, I have kind of a new setup here that I'm gonna ship home. And so you have no music or nothing. It's just gonna fucking end, and that's gonna be it. But I just want to let you know I love each and every one of you, and thanks for popping by just to hear the update. And props to everybody who's there for me. And wow, can you believe that I got fucked by the medical system again? But not so bad because people really pulled through. I'm so grateful, and I'm grateful you guys popping in and showing support. And one day I hope that I'm just not this complainy bitch all the time. I'd like to actually talk about fun stuff, you know? So let's hope that's right around the corner. And I get the feeling it is. We'll start moving on to more fun things. And this health channel will be kind of a little bit more quiet, which will be a good thing. And no news is good news, right? So anyway, I'm keeping a vlog of my whole TMS experience, which I'll post to this channel. So you guys will have a full comprehensive overview of everything I've gone through with TMS once I finish here. I'll probably post it 2 weeks after TMS, so I have a full, complete picture of how it's affected my life. But until then, I just want to say I love each and every one of you in a special and unique way. This is Adam, minus appendix, minus one testicle, and half a brain. Peacing out. Love you guys. See ya.